I'm a Dalit woman writer from India living here in New York City. I come from a community that was formerly known as the untouchables, more commonly known as the outcasts. My ancestors lived and my siblings continue to live under the hegemonic structures of caste in India. Today I stand before you as a Dalit Christian, an embodiment of a tense, almost strained intersection. Part colonized, part liberated, off-caste, still Christian. A complication, if you will, but real nonetheless. I'm going to read to you today 3 pieces of poetry that speaks to this very real, complicated pain. The first 2 are from Binary Breaking Worship, a website for worship materials that uses inclusive language for people and an expansive language for God. Ever since Jesus suffered and died on the cross, an imperial tool of torture, terror, and humiliation, the most dehumanized and oppressed peoples of the world have seen themselves in Christ's execution. For them, Jesus expressed solidarity with all whom the empire criminalizes and murders, from untouchable Dalits to those who are lynched or shot around the world by virtue of who they are. And in the mid-1900s, the symbol of crucifixion was uplifted by many Arabic poets as an image of unjust collective suffering. Decades later, in 2021, Palestinian poet Najwan Darwish likewise made crucifixion the central image of his collection of poems, Exhausted on the Cross. Throughout this text, Darwish grapples with despair and uplifts resistance in the face of Israeli occupation, with all its tedious daily terrors interspersed with waves of escalated violence. He sees these decades of occupation as a long, drawn-out collective crucifixion. When will it end? When will Palestinians know rest? And maybe, just maybe, resurrection? In the first poem, They Awoke You at Dawn, Darwish imagines Christ as a fedayee, an Arabic term for various military groups willing to sacrifice themselves for a larger movement. Here goes. They awoke you at dawn. When they woke you at dawn, when they hung you up for slaughter, Christ was a fedayee, just like you. But he was condemned and crucified in the sea of a single day, while you, your cross is raised with every dawn. His name was on their blacklist. His mother slept on a pillow of nightmares. Which of these few women outside the Moscovia jail can catch her when she falls, hanging as she is from the farthest star of the cosmos? They've woken you at dawn again. They've hung you up for slaughter. In the second poem, Exhausted on the Cross, Darwish expands the image of crucifixion from a singular victim to all Palestinians. He sees the long decades of Israeli occupation as a drawn-out collective crucifixion. Christ's suffering is their suffering. Their suffering is Darwish's suffering. Here goes. Exhausted on the cross. The ones hanging are tired. So bring us down and give us some rest. We drag histories behind us here, where there's neither land nor sky. Lord, sharpen your knife and give your sacrifice its rest. You had no mother or father, and you never saw your brothers hanging from the cold talons of dawn. You loved no one, and no one ever abandoned you, and death never ate from your hands. You cannot know our pain. I am not King David. I won't sit at the gate of regret and sing you psalms of lamentation after the sins. Bring me down. Let me have my rest. The last piece, titled An Opari for Christ, which speaks more directly to my location, is by Daniel Sukumar, a spoken word poet and a stage artist from Bangalore, India. For those who are not familiar, the word opari refers to rhythmic lamentations sung by Dalit women at funerals. Here goes. An opari for Christ. And did you die a Dalit's death? Were you stripped and flogged, tied to a pole like a thief? And did they make you drag your body as a testament to what happens when your love is too radical? And did you die a Dalit's death when the state washed its hands after touching you? And did they hoist that body up when the sun was still shining as an example of what happens when you ask for a place in the church? Ask for a place for the poor, the sick, the outcast, and the untouchable in the sham called a society? Were you stabbed after you died because even after all the bleeding, their thirst wasn't quenched? And did you die a Dalit's death, where your mother had to watch helplessly as a sword ran through her heart for the rest of her life? Did she hold the rest of your brothers close, hugged them a little longer, kissed their forehead a little harder, knowing that a Dalit's death might be written on them too? And did even God himself forsake you? And if you didn't know that Sunday was an Easter, that Sunday was resurrection, that on Sunday your body would be made whole, would you have still chosen a Dalit's death to die? Thank you.